The ego doesn't want you to see this video because it knows it will disappear. Dear friend, the moment you touched this title, a very deep part of you vibrated. Not the mind, not the emotions, but a primal part, still, knowing that was there before you knew you had a name, an age, a story. I call it the witness, the pure presence, the wordless knowing. Maharaj calls it simply, I am that. And it is because that is gently awakening in you that the ego begins to fear. Can you feel it? A slight resistance, a slight laziness, a slight distraction, a flash of thought. I can watch it tomorrow. A feeling of insecurity without reason. That is not you. That is not your true nature. It is the ego structure, a program, an illusion that is trying to keep you where it wants you. The ego exists on one thing, your blind belief in the thought, I am this person. And when you listen to any enlightened teaching, even for a few minutes, that structure begins to shake. It knows, if you just look at it, it will disappear like a shadow in the sunlight. And you know what the strangest thing is? That is why the ego does not want you to watch. It knows a truth that you do not know. You are already free. You are already light. You are already infinite consciousness. The ego is not afraid of this video. It is afraid that you will realize yourself. So what is the true nature of the ego? In Advaita Vedanta, the ego is called a hamper, which means that which creates the feeling of I. But Maharaj goes further. He says, the ego is just a thought. When you stop giving it energy, it disappears. It is not a physical entity. It has no soul. It has no individual intelligence. It has no true nature. It is like a cloud made of vapors of old mental habits. And because it has been so long, you mistake it for you. Why is the ego afraid of the truth? Because the truth does not need it. The truth does not nourish it. The truth is the only thing it cannot tolerate. Have you ever noticed that as soon as you sit down to meditate for 5 minutes, the mind starts to make more noise than usual? That is the ego's self-protective reaction. It is like a dry leaf trying to cling to a tree branch when the monsoon comes. But what you don't see is, the branch never belonged to the leaf, and you never belong to the ego. Asterisk, asterisk. The first question leading to enlightenment. Who wants to see this video? And who is resisting? If you look closely, you will notice two completely different forces. One pulls you back to truth, stillness, liberation. One pulls you back to fear, familiarity, old suffering. One is the real you, the other is the ego. And I tell you the truth, as Maharaja would say, the moment you start looking, the ego has already lost. How the ego works and the illusion of me. You don't see it because you look inside it. To understand why the ego doesn't want you to see the enlightening content, you must understand how it works. Without this knowledge, you will always be led by it without knowing it. 1. The layers of illusions the ego creates. The ego is not just a thought. It is a complex structure of many layers of illusions, including the illusion of the body. I am this body. The illusion of the mind. I am the one who is thinking. The illusion of emotion. I am the one who is sad, happy, angry. The illusion of ownership. This is mine. This is my opinion. This is my point of view. And Maharaj said, when you look deeply enough, you will see that there is no I behind all those things. They just appear, and you mistake them for yourself. 2. Why are people trapped in this illusion? Because from birth, you are taught, this is your child's name, you believe. This is your child's gender, you believe. This is your child's family, you believe. This is your religion, your beliefs, your opinions, you believe. This is your child, you believe. This is me, you believe. You were never taught to see who is believing. You learned to live as a character, but no one taught you to see the person seeing the character. And that is why Maharaja said, nobody really lives their own life. They just repeat the program they have installed. 3. Ego, the greatest storyteller in human history. The ego lives on stories it makes up. If I change, I will lose my security. If I don't control, everything will fall apart. If I don't have a past, I am nothing. If I stay silent, I will disappear. Do these phrases sound familiar? They ring out every time you want to meditate, read a spiritual book, or watch some enlightening content. It's not a coincidence. It's the ego's automatic defense mechanism. For the ego's greatest fear, silence. The ego is not afraid of suffering. It's used to it. It even feeds on suffering. But the ego fears silence. Because in silence, there is no story, no memory, no identity. Silence is where the witness appears. And when the witness appears, the ego disappears. It doesn't die. It just dissolves like mist in the sun. Nobody dies. Only illusions end. The truth that liberates. Realizing the pure nature of the witness. Dear friend, this is the part where, if you really listen, you will begin to feel a very slight but very real shift within. Not a feeling of enlightenment shining on your head, not some vibration or metaphysical phenomenon, but a silent breaking, a realization that you are not what you thought I was. And that is the beginning of all inner one-wansion. 1. You are not the body, not the mind, not the story. I want you to do something very simple right now. Watch your body, watch your hands, watch your breath, watch your heartbeat. Then ask yourself, am I controlling these things? You will realize you do not make your heart beat. You don't make your lungs breathe. You don't create the feeling in your hands. You don't create the cells, the blood, the thoughts. It all happens automatically in a complex program that you are not the operator of. So how can you be the body? Next, watch the thoughts. They come, they go, they appear without warning. They disappear without asking permission. If you can watch the thoughts, you don't have to think. Then there are the emotions. You can see them rise, spread, and disappear. If you can see them, you can't be them. So who is watching? Who sees the thoughts? Who feels the emotions? Who knows he exists, even when there is no thought? That is the witness. 2. Experience self-realization, liberation from the false. Nisargadatta Maharaj does not teach people to become better. He does not teach you to change yourself. He does not teach you to become anything. He only shows you one truth. You have never been false, and you do not need to become real. The real is already there. What makes you suffer is not the world, not other people, not circumstances. It is your blind identification with what you are not. When you see clearly, I am not this body. I am not this emotion. I am not this story. I am not this voice in my head. Then naturally, you step out of the prison you did not know you were in. The prison does not disappear, but you are no longer in it. 3. I am that, the absence of the experiencer. In Advaita Vedanta, when you let go of all identification, a very strange state arises. Not emptiness, not nothingness, not a sense of loss, but an absolute clarity. There is awareness, there is life, there is silence, there is what is. There is no one experiencing it. There is just pure experience happening by itself. It needs no owner. It needs no controller. It needs no interpreter. It is simply pure consciousness knowing itself. This is what Maharaj calls, I am that. It is not, I that is that. There is no I anymore. There is only that. 4. Silence is not for cultivation, but to reveal the true nature. Most people think meditation is for achieving silence, but it is not. Silence is your natural state when you stop clinging to the noise of the ego. You do not need to create silence. You cannot create silence. Silence is already there, just like the sky is always there even though it is covered by dark clouds. You do not need to tear the clouds. You just need not cling to the clouds. Silence appears not because you cultivate well, but because the false stops covering the rail. And when silence appears, you will know why the ego is afraid of this. Because in silence, it does not exist. The path of ego dissolution. This is the part where Maharaj often makes his disciples touch the truth on the spot. 1. The paradoxical path. The ego cannot destroy itself. This is what confuses many people. You cannot use the ego to overcome the ego. The ego cannot practice to disappear. The ego cannot meditate to disappear. The ego cannot strive to attain enlightenment. It can only pretend to prolong its existence. Nisargadatta Maharaj said, "The ego tries to destroy the ego like a thief who plays the police to catch himself. Only the light of the witness can dissolve the ego. No effort, no struggle, no resistance. Just see clearly." 2. Deep surrender, the explosion of truth. Surrendering is not defeat. It is not giving up. It is not weakness. Surrendering is realizing that you were never in control. You do not control your breathing. You do not control your thoughts. You do not control your emotions. You do not control your life. You do not control your destiny. You can try, but things happen in their own way. And when you see this in your bones, you let go. Let go of the idea, "I must control." Let go of the idea, "I know best." Let go of the idea, "I am the operator." That is true surrender. And in that moment, as Maharaj says, truth explodes. You do not attain truth. Truth reveals itself. 3. You are not enlightened. Enlightenment happens when the false disappears. Most people think enlightenment is a destination, but it is not. You are not enlightened. Enlightenment happens when you are no longer the false. You do not need to become conscious. You are already conscious. You do not need to become light. You are already light. What needs to disappear is confusion. The confusion is, I am the body. I am the thought. I am the emotion. I am the story. I am an isolated individual. When that confusion disappears, no one is enlightened. There is only the revelation of what has always been there. Glowing star 4. When the ego dissolves, there is no void, only freedom and peace. Many people fear that if the ego disappears, they will be empty, meaningless, or disappear. But it is the ego that is afraid, not you. When the ego dissolves, what appears is not a void, but lightness, openness, freedom, deep peace, fullness of life, infinite knowing, unconditional love. Not the love of "I love you," but the pure love of pure being, without subject, without object. There is no ego to love. There is only love as the natural state of consciousness. That is why Maharaja says, the disappearance of the ego is not a loss, but a return to its true home. Practical applications in modern life. Dear friend, enlightenment is found in everyday moments, in the city, on social media, at work, in finance, in love. All are open doors to mindfulness. Nisargadatta Maharaj once said, I am not telling you to run away from life. I am telling you to look at it without being fooled by it. And here is how you can be fooled no more. Applying mindfulness to work. Work without being caught up in the doer. Most stress at work comes from the feeling of, I am doing, I am responsible. But when you realize, work happens, actions arise, ideas come and go, the body operates by itself, the world rotates by itself, then you begin to enter what Maharaja calls non-doership. It's not that you become lazy. On the contrary, you become more productive, more creative, less fearful, because you are no longer under the pressure of protecting your ego image. Try a simple practice. Practice, it's not me doing it. While doing a task, writing an email, meeting, driving, problem solving, quietly remind yourself, the action is happening. I am just a witness. You will notice, A lighter mind, brighter thinking, no more fear of making mistakes, no more internal battles, no more wasting energy on unnecessary worries. This is the essence of Advaita applied to modern life. Application to goals, ambition, action without self-identification. Ambition is not bad. Goals are not bad. Success is not bad. Bad is when you see goals as what defines who I am. Then you live like a person looking for water, while your nature is the ocean. This Nisargadatta teaches, do what needs to be done in life, but never think of yourself as the doer. This does not lead to passivity. On the contrary, it makes you more decisive, more clear-minded, not obsessed with results, not afraid of failure, not too agitated by success, always at peace in all developments. Success becomes a game of life, not a battle of ego. Living in the world with a mind free from worries, freedom in the flow of life. When you apply Advaita to your life, you do not become a person separated from everything. You live in the world, but are not swept away by it. You love, but are not hurt by possessions. You work, but are not broken by failure. You succeed, but do not create a new ego. You face chaos, but within is still the ocean of silence. That is the way of life that Maharaj wants you to touch. An ordinary life, but with extraordinary freedom.